What if I told you there's a simple secret to better health, and it's literally right under your feet? Today, we're digging into some fascinating science that uncovered the surprising healing power of just taking off your shoes. We're going to look at the real data and see what science actually says about barefoot walking for things like weight loss and your overall health.
So here's the big question. Can walking around barefoot really make you healthier? I mean, it sounds almost too simple, right? We all know walking is good for us, but what happens when we lose the shoes and connect directly with the ground? Well, let's find out what the research has to say.
And this isn't just some wellness trend, you know? This is backed by actual scientific research. A team of scientists in Korea got curious and put it to the test. So we're going to break down exactly what they did, what they found, and what it could mean for you. And trust me, the results they found were pretty amazing.
Okay, so how did they figure this all out? Well, it all started with a really carefully designed scientific experiment. This is where we get to separate all the myths from the facts and just look at the cold, hard data.
So the source for all of this today is a paper published way back in 2003 in the Korea Journal of Sports Science. And you can see right from the title, it's all about the effects of barefoot walking on the body composition and blood lipid profiles. This was a serious, peer-reviewed study designed to get real answers.
The researchers had a very clear mission. They wanted to see if the simple act of walking without shoes could have a real positive impact on the health of a specific group, obese female middle school students. The whole point was to see if this could be a natural way to help support their well-being.
To do this, they set it up like a classic scientific showdown. There were 3 teams. First, you had the stars of our show, the barefoot walkers. Then, you had the shoe walkers, who did the exact same routine, just with shoes on. And finally, you had the control team, who didn't do any extra walking. This setup is so important because it lets us see what, if anything, makes being barefoot special. So, the experiment ran for 8 weeks. The researchers collected all the data, and this is where it gets really, really interesting. Let's start with the physical changes, the stuff you can actually see on a scale. So if you look at the raw numbers from the paper for the barefoot team, they started at an average of almost 70 kilograms. After 8 weeks, they were down to just over 68. Now that's obviously a drop, but how big of a deal was that change really?
Well, that drop works out to a 2.3% decrease in their total body weight. For just 8 weeks of walking, that is a fantastic result. The key thing the data shows is that walking barefoot didn't just stop them from gaining weight, it actually helped them lose it.
And get this, according to the study, it wasn't just water weight or something like that. Their average body fat percentage dropped too, by almost 2 full percentage points. This means the changes were healthy ones, targeting fat. But the story doesn't stop there. Some of the most amazing healing was actually happening inside their bodies.
What was going on inside their blood was arguably even more important. The scientists looked at cholesterol levels, a huge indicator of heart health, to see what kind of deeper impact barefoot walking was having.
All right, first up is LDL cholesterol. The easy way to remember this one is that L stands for lousy. Medically, it's a bit more complicated, of course, but for our purposes, just think of it as the sticky gunk that can start to clog up your body's pipes. And for good health, you want that number to be low.
And whoa, just look at this chart from the study. The barefoot team's bad cholesterol levels just took an absolute nosedive. You don't have to be a scientist to see that this is a huge positive change for their health down the road. But how big was that drop exactly?
An incredible 18%. An 18% decrease. To get that kind of result from a simple, natural activity like walking barefoot, it's just phenomenal. It really shows how our bodies have this amazing natural ability to heal. But that's only half the cholesterol story.
Because then you have HDL cholesterol. For this one, think H for healthy or helpful. This is the good stuff. It basically acts like a cleaning crew that goes through your body's pipes and helps scrub out all that lousy LDL gunk. So, for this number, you want it to go up.
And that's exactly what the data showed. The barefoot walkers saw their good cholesterol levels go up. So they were getting this incredible 1-2 punch. The bad stuff was going down and the good stuff was going up. That is the absolute perfect recipe for a healthier heart.
So, the big question is still out there. Was it just the walking that did all this? Or was being barefoot the real secret ingredient? Let's put the barefoot team head-to-head with the shoe-walking team and see what the science says.
This little table here, summarizing the paper's findings, pretty much tells the whole story.
Just look at the weight. The barefoot walkers lost weight, but the shoe walkers, they actually gained a tiny bit. Now look at the bad cholesterol. Both groups got better, which is great, but the barefoot team's drop was twice as big, an 18% drop versus just 9%. The data makes it crystal clear that something special happens when you lose the shoes.
And hey, don't just take it from me. Here's the conclusion straight from the scientists themselves, quoted directly from the paper. They state that walking with bare feet has a partially positive effect on the body composition and blood lipid profiles. This is science, confirming that something powerful happens when our skin touches the earth.
Okay, so after seeing all this amazing data, you might be thinking, all right, I'm in. How do I get started with this? Well, let's talk about how you can start practicing barefoot walking safely and really make it work for you.
Look, you don't have to start by hiking a mountain barefoot tomorrow. The key is to start slow. Find a nice, soft, safe surface, like some grass in a park or a sandy beach. Start with just 10 or 15 minutes a day and see how it feels. The most important thing is just to be aware, pay attention to where you're stepping, and really listen to your body. It's a journey, not a race. So the scientific evidence is pretty compelling, isn't it? This simple, totally free activity has research-backed benefits for your weight, your body fat, and your cholesterol. It's just a powerful reminder that sometimes the best healing tools are the ones we were all born with. Hey, if you enjoyed digging into the science with us and found this explainer helpful, it would mean the world to us if you'd support the channel by subscribing, giving this a like, and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss our next discovery.
And if you're ready to take your own barefoot walking journey to the next level, I really encourage you to join the Barefoot Walking National Movement headquarters on Naver Cafe. It's an amazing community where you can share information, hear real-life stories, and connect with other people on the same path. Thanks so much for watching.